Hey folks, Kilt-Man here. Kilt-Man at your services. How are you all? Hope you're all doing very, very well on this very bright and sunny day. Well, it's bright and sunny here in the Kilted realm. And the Olympics is almost underway. 2024 Olympics in Gay Paris. Have you checked the River Seine for great big sharks? Oh, careful now. That's if you can actually get to Paris, because all the trains have been written off, haven't they? Overnight, a mass coordinated arson attack took out the train tracks and all the fibre optic cables therein. So the entire network technology got burnt out as well. Crazy days, folks, crazy days. Anyway, in my last video, I reported upon a looming remake of The Creature from the Black Lagoon, a film I love and have reviewed on the channel. And there's been attempted remakes of it for decades, with many, many great directors and writers and producers trying to get it off the ground and out of the swamps, and it's never worked. Hopefully this time it will work. You see, I have a love-hate thing with remakes and, you know, sequels and prequels, sidequels, prequels, oh god, all that sort of stuff. Hate them on principle, and yet when I sit down, like I'm doing right now, to examine a possible remake or addition, modernization, retweak, reboot, reimagining, I suddenly find myself going, oh, you know what? There are reasons why it could work, and I could see why. My vest is going super wrinkly. That looks all right, doesn't it? Apart from the nipple monster making an appearance. But I think it's because I'm Gemini. Gemini sees both sides of the coin. We're in two minds about everything. I sit on the fence. I can agree with this, but I can agree with that, and turn my back on them, and then join them again and turn my back on these, because I'm Gemini. Two-faced. But remakes in general, I am opposed to. But some work and some do not. And I sat down about this particular remake, which has been made, by the way. It's already been made and it's in post-production, but it's sitting on a shelf at the moment because nobody is willing to pay to distribute it. Nobody wants to touch it. And that's very telling in many ways. At least at the time of this recording and the latest news, no one's touching this with a barge pole. But it is unusual. But this particular remake, I at first thought, no way on earth can you do this. No, because the original movie, which is an adaptation of Stephen King's Misery, his classic novel Misery. A great claustrophobic, locked-in horror story, a drama, a psychopathic bitch, you know, she's his number one fan, you know. She has this prize-winning, super successful author with a string of Victorian Gothic romance novels with his main character, Misery Chastain. But he hates Misery Chastain. It made his name, but he's like, oh, Paul Sheldon's like, I don't want to do any more of this. So he does a different book altogether, and it's going to be a big success as well. And he's championing all this, but gets a bit too drunk, a bit too tipsy on the Sidewinder, and takes a snowy dive in his car down the cliffside. And he gets saved by his number one fan, the crazy nurse of Annie Wilkes. And Annie Wilkes realises that you've killed off my favourite character. Well, Mr. Man, you're going to bring her back to life. Yes, you are. And I'm going to make sure you do it. I've got the medication you need, the painkillers that you need. And if you don't do what I want you to do, ooh, pain. As Clubber Lang says before his bout with Rocky. And your prediction for the fight, Clubber? Prediction? Yes, prediction. Pain. And it's a great, tight, two-character drama which unfolds with escalating madness. That's really beginning to annoy me, that. Why is it doing that? I've got scars under both arms and down my sides, and that looks like one of them, but trust me, I think it's going to sit on an angle. I always sit on an angle here. I'm never like sitting directly facing you. I'm always like that because I'm trying to change and chop and change the music and attend to my notes before they fall off as usual. And obviously, I also tend to reach down for this stuff, you know. this, you know, elixir. It's pure. It's natural water. It's made out of natural water, tumbling down rocks, in particular glens and meadows. Yeah, and then you get this stuff out of it as well. Cheers, y'all. And of course, he tries to escape continually, and he will, in the book, he will get his foot severed with an axe, and with a blowtorch he cauterizes the wound and forces him to continue. Lots of grief and strife and conflict ensue, and it's a great story. It's typical of Stephen King to write about a writer. That's what he does. And of course, it's a cocaine fever dream that he had. Annie Wilkes loomed to him in a fever dream, and he created the character of her in the book to exorcise this phantom from his dreams. So it then gets made in 1990 with Rob Reiner directed it, and William Goldman wrote the screenplay, the adaptation of King's novel. And you had James Caan playing Paul Sheldon, and you had Kathy Bates in an Oscar-winning performance as Annie Wilkes, and it is outstanding. There is horrific elements to it. It is scary. It is paranoid. It's exciting as well, but it's kind of cozy at the same time. It's one of those King stories which, well, the movie adaptations, you can all sit down and watch. The entire family can watch it. It's not going to be that disturbing, and yet it is still pretty disturbing. Like that. It's almost like I've got like an FBI, tap on me. I'm wired. What's going on? Oh, that's really. Oh, yeah. No, I've got to stop the nipple exploitation. But I love that movie. It's great. I'm playing Mark Shyman's score for the original 1990 movie. And I've seen a stage production of it as well, which I'll talk about afterwards. But the point of this video is they've done a remake. Oh yes, they have. And the guy that's done it is, God, I knew I'd forget his name. Trey Edward Shults. Trey Edward Shults. And he's only done 3 movies before this. All indie dramas. He did one called Krisha, which is based on a short film he made prior. And it's about his family life with his mother, or his grandmother, who plays the Krisha character. And yeah, I've not seen it, but I've read about it. And it's very intense and personal. And, people draw a lot of parallels to it with their own families. So it's written and directed from the heart. He then did the A24 horror movie, It Comes at Night, which I've seen, actually, and I didn't think much of it. Apparently it did pretty well, but I did not like it. Again, it's an intense personal drama between, well, the world's been taken over by this infection. No, we're not talking The Last of Us, maybe, but people get infected and they go crazy and they die. So an isolated family live in a cabin in the woods. Oh, that cabin in the woods, very popular, There are people who arrive there and die there, then more people arrive there and die there. But other people intrude, and lots of distrust and paranoia. Think the thing, you can't trust people. Someone sleepwalks, and anyway, I didn't think it was scary at all. I thought it was just basically a study of human emotions, distrust, mistrust, paranoia, obsession, rage, hatred, bigotry, and as such, it's pretty clever. It's archetypal, but then again, at the end of the world, you thrust 2 disparate families, small, albeit small families, together with their mutual distrust of each other, and then things happen. Well, that's mankind all over. That's history all over. Am I lopsided or something? I don't know what's going on there. But I thought it was okay, but didn't particularly rave about it. Then he made a film called Waves, another familial drama. I've not seen it. Not my kind of thing. But he has done a remake. He's made this movie, Misery. Now, see, this is where it gets interesting. His cast for this are Ray Lonan, who's presumably playing, not Ray Lonan, no, Barry Keoghan is in it, but Irish actor Barry Keoghan. There's a reason why I said Ray Lonan, because he's in the stage show version that I've seen, which was magnificent. Barry Keoghan, and that pop star entity thing from, you know, pop culture, idol bullshit, you know, reality TV, shite storms, Simon Cowell type crap. The Weeknd, yes, he goes by the name of The Weeknd. I could have written down his real name, but I simply could not be arsed. I don't know him. I don't care to know him. I don't know what he sings. He's a singer, a musician, performer. Great. Now he's trying to make his break into acting, presumably. And but apparently he's caused some controversy. I made little cursory look on you know, the gobbledygook of Google and Tinternet to find out who this guy was. And yeah, nothing about what I read. I thought, well, I want to see you in a movie. But The Weeknd is in this. And you have Jenna Ortega, very young but very talented. She was Wednesday in Wednesday, playing Wednesday Addams from the Addams Family. I have seen some of that, and I did enjoy it, but not enough to get hooked on it to watch every episode. I never did do that, and I've only seen it in that. But easy on the eye. Now there's your trio of actors that are in this. The only ones that have been named. Barry Keoghan is one busy bastard, you know. The look of the Irish there, you know, and he's in everything at the moment. Of course, who can forget, although many of us want to forget, Saltburn, yeah. The master of memes, the globe over and back again. Yeah, he's a good actor, an unusual looking fella. And I like the fact that, you know, basically an ugly guy can make it big. Yes, I said that because I know I'm an ugly, elbow-faced bastard. But does Hollywood come calling to me? No. Got a face full of character, surrounded by a lion's mane of ridiculousness. But, you know, I could make you know, modifications for the big screen if necessary. I won't give an inch. Unless I'm doing porn, obviously. And then I'll give several inches. But Barry Keoghan is a great actor. Now, I don't think he's going to be playing the Paul Sheldon character in this because, what's his name again? Shults. Trey Edward Shults has not said what the story of this movie is. The movie that he's made it, and it's sitting on a shelf. Now, it won't be an author, will it? It won't be, look at that, what is going on there? Something drastic has took place above my right titty. And, but you've got The Weeknd, a musician. Does he do rap? I don't know what the hell he does, I don't care. But this guy, it's all about an obsessive fan finding the object of their obsession and then keeping them incarcerated and making them do what they want them to do. So in other words, in the book and in the original movie, it's an author who's killed off the character that the #1 fan loves. You bring that character back, otherwise I'll make your life misery. Yeah. And it works, it's a perfect conceit. Now, the book's great, the movie's great. This version, I can't see it being an author. The fact that you've got The Weeknd there, it's going to be a musician, a singer, songwriter, you know, a Taylor Swift, but, you know, and some accident will transpire, and apparently some behind the scenes shots have leaked out, and they are using a cabin in the woods, which apparently is a dead ringer for the cabin used in the original 1990 Rob Reiner, Misery. And so clearly isolation will be the thing, and it will be a cabin in the woods, possibly snowbound again. So is it a rap star? Is it a podcaster, a YouTuber, you know, a film star? I think they're gonna. It won't be an author. Is anyone going to see this guy the weekend as a Pulitzer Prize winning author? I think not. So it's going to be something that he does. You're moving it for the kids. Look at the cast: Barry Keoghan, Jenna Ortega. It's a young cast. It's appealing to a young demographic. Of course it is. And us old folks go like, oh, you dirty, devious bastards. How dare you? Well, the Gemini in me comes out and says, look, I don't want to see this. But from what I can gather from it, I don't want to see it. But there will be the youngsters, the youth, who will want to see it, whereas they might not watch the older movie. And the thing about remakes and adaptations is that I've always said, I've maintained this, no matter how much I, pour scorn on remakes, hate them, but there's so many great ones. Look at The Thing, right? The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing, is not a remake of Christian Nyby and Howard Hawks' 1951, The Thing from Another World. It's an adaptation of John W. Campbell's original novella, Who Goes There? Or, yes, Frozen Hell, if you want to go the extended version. So, an original literary work, anyone can make an adaptation of that. It doesn't mean it's a remake of the previous movie adaptation. It's an adaptation of that book. But media, and especially social media and forums now, they are so quick to it's a remake of this. Well, is it actually? Is it not just a modern day adaptation of Stephen King's original novel? Because that's what it could be. The thing is, a lot of the blairbage that I've read about it, even coming from people in the know, have cited it as a remake of Rob Reiner's movie. So they've actually come out and said that themselves. Now that, I think, is a mistake. So as I say, John Carpenter's The Thing is not a remake of Christian Nyby, Howard Hawks' 1951 Thing from Another World. It's an adaptation of John W. Campbell's novella. The same with Philip Kaufman's 1978 Invasion of the Body Snatchers. That is not a remake of the early 50s Invasion of the Body Snatchers. It's an adaptation in a different city and a different time period with a lot of different characters from the original Jack Finney's novel, The Body Snatchers. So you see what I mean? You can do this. It's not necessarily a remake of the film that's come before. It's an adaptation of the original material, be it book, be it poem, be it a song, be it a stage play. An adaptation of the original can be anything it damn well wants to be. That said, this does sound... there's no plot given. So I'm assuming The Weeknd is the big star who has an accident somehow or other and will find himself at the whim and manipulation of his most ardent, obsessive fan. Presumably Jenna Ortega is the fan. Barry Keoghan could be the detective, the sheriff. Presumably, I don't know. Or maybe an entirely new character. We don't know at this stage. But there's been films like this before. Play Misty for Me, 1971. Clint Eastwood's directorial debut as him as a radio DJ, and he's got an obsessive fan who wants to play the song Misty, but she becomes murderously obsessive with him as well. You have Joe Spinell and Caroline Munro. Joe Spinell and Caroline Munro. They were in Maniac together. They were in Star Crash together. And they were also in, The Last Horror Film. Yeah. Or, as some people know it, Fanatic. That's not the right term. It's The Last Horror Film. And it's a piece of old Caan's guerrilla filmed trash. But it's great. I always loved it. Any film that has Depeche Mode's song Photographic on its soundtrack, it's a winner as far as I'm concerned. And some really super gory effects. Not the best, but it's super gory. And Caroline Munro. Need to say any more? Caroline Munro. And you've also got The Fan, which was, Robert De Niro. It's not a good film. And that was in the mid-90s, I think. And there's many others where you've got a devoted, obsessive fan manages to... Just one second, someone just knocked at the door. I don't believe it. The drawbridge is up. They must have swum across the moat. Just one second. Maybe it's one of my fans. Maybe it's my only fan. Scary stuff when they come in great big, similarly sized. In fact, there's three things, isn't there? Oh dear God. I'll save those for Mrs. Kilt-Man. Big threatening documents like that, Kilt-Man has no part of. No. Unless they've been left in someone's will. Anyway, so you've had other movies where an obsessive fan gets hold of the object of their obsessions, but the relationship doesn't go down too well and stuff happens. So this is not exactly new ground, no matter how it transpires. Now, I mentioned a stage play of this because after the film's success, Rob Reiner's movie, and winning an Oscar as well, people leapt to do it as a stage play because it's quite simple to do. The setup, it's a cabin in the woods and it's got just two protagonists, that's it. You might have a few incidentals coming in, but you can tell it with just two characters. Tight, claustrophobic, dialogue driven. Now, it played, I think, Broadway initially. Who wrote it? A fella called Simon Moore wrote the initial one. And Bruce Willis was in a version of it. And there's been numerous versions. It's played across America, it's played across Europe, it's played in London. And in 1992 or 1993, I'm not sure which year it was, myself and Mrs. Kilt-Man went to the Liverpool Playhouse and saw a production of Simon Moore's Adaptation. And it starred Ray Lonan, the very guy I mentioned before. He threw his name in out, just abstractly threw his name in from the sidelines. Now, Ray Lonan is a British stage actor and a lot of TV, some movies, a lot of TV stuff. He was the first guy to play Harry Brown. Michael Caan played Harry Brown in, Harry Brown. But Ray Lonan is a great actor. He's now deceased. I think he died in about 2013, something like that. Now, the version that we saw starred himself as Paul Sheldon and Nuala Conwell. Now, Nuala Conwell played WPC Martella, Viv Martella, in the long-running police drama The Bill on UK TV. And I think it went on for about 10 years, maybe even more. I kind of gave up on it. I think her character may have been killed at some... I don't remember. But Nuala Conwell was brilliant, absolutely brilliant, very memorable. A big girl, not hefty, but strong, if she hit you, you'd know about it. So she played the Annie Wilkes character, and she was threatening, very intimidating, and she played it brilliantly. And we were sitting there. Now, I've read the book and I'd seen the movie, and of course, Mrs. Kilt-Man had seen the movie as well. Now, in the movie, when he gets hobbled, she uses a sledgehammer to hobble him. His legs are knackered anyway, and he's addicted to this horrible painkiller that she's concocted. It's an illegal, illicit stuff as well. And when he's got away from the room and she realises that he's escaping all the time and getting around the cabin, she smashes his legs and feet to bits in the film with the big sledgehammer. In the book, it's an axe. She takes his I think it's his left foot off with an axe and then cauterises the wound with a blowtorch. Now, the set for this was a revolving set. So you had the bedroom, you had the kitchen, and you had, when it just swiveled round all the time, the lights would change to a different colour. Yellow, sickly green, and then go black, and then the scene had changed and they'd be in a different part of this revolving set, but it was brilliantly done. And one would be the outside, the exterior of the cabin. Now, of course, it got to the sequence where she's realised he's escaped again, and like, oh no, you're not gonna get away with it, Mr. Man. So, of course, I said to Jack, like, well, in the book it's an axe, they'll use a sledgehammer, and you won't see nothing. And then you can quickly see that she's got an axe, and I went, oh. I wasn't massively loud in the audience, to be honest, but I was like, I said, oh no, she has got an axe. Well, you're never going to see this. It'll go dark just as the axe comes down. It'll go dark. Well, guess what happened? He's in his wheelchair, and I think she's knocked him over in the wheelchair, and then she unstraps him. Ray Lonan is in that wheelchair. He's in his pajamas, and his feet are doing this. And Nuala Conwell's a big girl, as I say. She picks him up under his armpits and she throws him on the bed. She literally picks him up off the floor and throws him on the bed. That's him with his 2 legs, his 2 arms and his waggly feet. Bunk on the bed. Bunk bed. And his feet are doing this again, like, and she picks up not a sledgehammer, but an axe. And I went, well, you're not going to see this, but it'll go dark. And she stands there and he's like, no, you've got to learn. And she brings the axe down, and his fucking foot came off and leapt off the bed with a shower of gore across the sheets and across the floor. Hey, maybe on the weekend I made that rap, didn't I? And his foot bounced on the floor, and then everything went suddenly bright red, well, very deep dark red, very burgundy red, the lighting. And then it went black, and like everybody jumped, everybody, especially me. And I said something out loud, which I think was, you can't do that. Something like that. You can't do that. Or maybe, how did you do that? Because I've seen stage shows and magic shows and trickery on stage, which will blow your mind. But I've never seen anything like that. I thought, I was watching his foot because I thought, I know what the scene is, and you've got an axe there. Well, you're not going to show it obviously, but I just want to see. I think it's going to go black and then the light will come on, and a torch or a spotlight on a 7 foot. Is that how you're going to do it? All these things are going through my mind. I did not think that she'd pick him up, throw him on the bed, and continuously just pick up the axe and go, tough shit, poof, and the foot would bounce off in a shower of gore. If anyone's out there who saw that production, or maybe saw a similar one, because it played the West End, played all around Europe and the States, so there will be versions which have done this, presumably, but I've never seen anything like it, and it fucking disturbed the hell out of me. I was impressed, but I was also like, no, I was saying what's going to happen. You won't see it, but you did see it. But how did he do it? Oh. Tremendous stuff, and it was a fabulous production as well. I think it won plentiful awards. That one itself did, but obviously all the other previous ones that Simon Moore had, obviously his adaptation had trod the boards, one-footedly trod the boards all over the world, and it won many accolades and awards, as I say. So the story of Misery is a captivating one. It's a powerful one. It's disturbing as all hell. And it's the fact that your hero is crippled, and he's stuck in a bed or in a wheelchair for the majority of the movie and the story, doesn't hamper the excitement you get when he starts investigating, getting out of bed and trying to find his painkillers and all that, and move around and try to escape. It's tremendously exciting. It remains to be seen what this version has in store, if we ever get to see it. Now, as I said, Barry Keoghan and Jenna Ortega and The Weeknd should perhaps be a big draw for a lot of people. So it makes you wonder why the hell no one's picked up the distribution rights to it. Why no one's bothered to, add ante up and like, well, okay, I'll take this one. I'm not saying it won't come out, but it's curious that with that cast and a high profile story as well, And clearly it's going to be an update of it. It's going to be a musician, isn't it? But the basic thing will be the same. He will be trapped with his number one fan, his obsessive fan, who will manipulate him. And horrible stuff will happen. So why has no one picked it up? But you've also got that new version of Salem's Lot, which is coming to, it's coming to streaming this year, later on this year. I've reported on that. In fact, I've reported on it so often, but so long ago, I've forgotten where we're up to with it. But that clearly is a disaster. Otherwise, because it has to be. No one was asked about putting that theatrical. Then, well, it was. Then it was delayed, postponed, then took off the schedule altogether. And then, we're going to go straight to streaming. And then even that date, well, we haven't got a date for it. Any tentative date was scrapped. And well, it is coming out, but I don't know when. Is it Warner's? Warner's doing it? I don't know. Can't remember now. Probably Warner's. So, Stephen King stuff lately, adaptations, haven't had too good a time. And this is sitting on the shelf. I don't know. But as I say, being Gemini, I can't piss all over this, because look, if it's a new version of the basic idea, you can't knock that. That's a version for people of today, the youth of today, podcasters, YouTubers, rock stars, pop stars, reality TV stars. It's for them. Maybe not for us. I don't know. I mean, the guy, fuck me, Trey Edward Shults. Hate these triple names. I've said before, they do my head in. But Trey Edward Shults, with only a sort of very small back catalogue, has made a name for himself, which I can never remember. But they've won a lot of accolades and praise because they're intense personal dramas. So judging it by that, and in one location primarily, so someone's living room or kitchen, or a cabin in the woods, which is it came at night, came by night, comes at night, whatever happens, does something at night anyway. And Waves is a personal sort of familial drama, probably only in a handful of locations. So this is his sort of thing. One location, two major characters, intensely going at it and unraveling deeper secrets. Because Annie Wilkes is a serial killer, as we find out. She's a nurse, but she's killed infants, and she's killed neighbours, and she's killed other interfering busybodies. She's a serial killer anyway. So poor Paul Sheldon's on a hiding to nothing, isn't he? His legs are knackered. But if it's ever going to come to light that this film does come out, then, well, let it live and breathe. See what happens with it. I'm having some terrible visual issues today. A massively creased vest and hair that just cannot be controlled. So, folks, I have been on Wish I Had a Kilt-Man. Please, in the meantime, there's a lot more remakes to be discussed. Yes, there are. And some are abhorrent. But there's reasons, again, being Gemini, there's reasons why I can see, you've got a get out clause there. There's a reason why you can possibly remake this, but save that for a later video. So, in between time, forgot to finish off that little sobriquet there, didn't I? Right, please be happy, be healthy, enjoy the Olympic Games. Let's hope nothing fouls it up. But the way the world is at the moment, and all eyes are focused on Paris, lots of crowds of people. There is a ring of steel all the way around the Seine and the Olympic Village and all that. Wherever the events are going to be, there are thousands and thousands of coppers gendarmes, thousands and thousands of soldiers, you know, and obviously Secret Service personnel. Oh yeah, but hey, let's hope things go without any trouble, please. But the world we live in, it's a damn easy target. As is this. Bottoms up, as they say. Cheers, y'all. Comment below, let me know what you think. And I know what you're going to think straight away. But I hope, look, there's no reason why this version can't exist. If it does something, it's a different take on it. You wouldn't want a version where you've got The Weeknd playing an award-winning author, would you? He's going to be a rock star, pop star, reality TV star. That's what it's going to be. And given if it's modern day, which it obviously must be, you're going to have all tech and stuff like, and mobile phones and GPS and, you know, the internet. There's a lot of things I've missed out there. And this guy will obviously be missed. Or are they reversing it? I've just thought maybe Jenna Ortega plays a Taylor Swift type character, and it's actually The Weeknd or Barry Keoghan, who's got those mad eyes anyway, mad eyes. Maybe it's him. Maybe it is a reversal of the characters. Just the idea that a celebrity is captured and abused and manipulated could go anywhere. Don't forget, he's given no plot details out whatsoever. Again, the time this video comes out, like, maybe it's all over the news. Oh yes, it's going to be great, this. And I'll be like, oh shit. Folks, please enjoy yourselves. And most importantly, just be yourselves. Don't be somebody else. Don't copy anyone. Don't do that. Just be yourself. A lot of people struggle to find out who they really are. I get that. I understand that. I'm around people like that all the time. But I always try to encourage, you know, if they copy someone else's fashions, they do this, they say that, they listen to what you say, and then you hear them emulating you in a further conversation, and you think, oh, no need. It's being quite sad. But I think a lot of people don't realize who they are, especially in today's world. They're too easily led by social media and and the mass media and the people around them. They're afraid to be individual. Should never be afraid to be who you are and say what you feel. Obviously, pick your times and places to say what you feel, because you could end up in trouble, but don't ever be afraid. Try to be confident. Try to work out who and what you are. A lot of people don't know. They're easy to just, oh, it's better to hide away, be part of a group, be part of a crowd, just blend in and go along with what the big mouth says and stick with them. It's safer that way. Yeah, it might be for a while, but it's more exciting to discover who you are. And like, I've got a voice. I've got a fashion sense. Well, I clearly fucking haven't. I mean, look at this. I can't even wear a vest without it going betraying me like that. Look, what the hell is going on there? Something's happening. Must be like that bullet's getting closer. It's edging its way across my chest. Anyway, folks, I've had enough. There'll be more news and there'll be more Jaws. Another Jaws video coming up very soon. Jaws. Jaws never dies, does it? It never dies. Despite him being blown apart at the end, Bruce lives on. The shark still works, and it always will work. Right? I'm going to see you all. I was at a funeral yesterday, and someone who died tragically far too young, and the tributes, plaudits to her shining beacon of life was true testament to how you should be individual. I've always adhered to it, and that cemented it. She may be gone. Grace, rest in peace. You didn't deserve the outcome. But hearing all the accolades and plaudits from her friends, her family, and everyone that knew her, even her boss, and it was one of the biggest assemblages of people for a funeral that I've ever seen. And I've been to some big ones as well, like, and it was outstanding. It went off spectacularly well, and it was moving, but it was also humbling and reassuring in that, okay, it maybe didn't end so well for Grace, but life should be lived the way you want to live it. That's what I was saying before. Find who you are. Enjoy what you are. Don't be something that you're not. It's too easy to do that. Fall into a trap. But then, at the end of your days, are you gonna, well, who am I? What did I do? You want to be there at the end. Well, obviously. Or actually, at my end, I want to be somewhere else. Hang on, Kilt-Man's days are up. Where is he? That's him. I can see his kilt. He's running away. I'm not dying just yet. Oh, fuck that. Pubs are still open. You want to, at the end of your days, be able to look back and be proud of the things that you did, that you enjoyed, and also acknowledge the things that you did which you're not so proud of, but you did them anyway because you wanted to do them. I don't know where I'm going with this. I think since yesterday, a lot of things have gone through my mind. But I've always preached to be yourself. Can you imagine it though? A world of, I don't know, 54 billion individuals. Couldn't possibly work, could it? You need people to conform and be part of a united mass of people with one following, one idea. You want that? Otherwise, it'd be fucking pandemonium. It'd be pure chaos. Which is why individuals stand out all the more, and why people get obsessed with individuals who have values and excitement which they lack, so they latch onto it. Oh, I should have put all this before I went ta-ra and laters, shouldn't I? It's more important. But for those of you who stuck around, hey, good on you. All the important stuff comes after I've said goodbye. You should know that by now. People emulate pop stars, film stars. Oh, fucking hell. Now, the thing is, I emulate movie stars and that, like my heroes. But I kind of do it in my own bloody way. At the same token, I'm clearly not that character. I may dress like it, but it's still Kilt-Man, regardless. It's Chris. He's off his fucking box. Get him a whiskey. Make him shut the fuck up, Give him a puppy. Or better yet, pass him, offer him some pussy. No. I meant a kitten, didn't I? Honestly, Mrs. Kilt-Man, I meant a kitten. Where were you when the post came before? Cheers, y'all. But let me know what you think about this potential Misery remake or adaptation. Again, it's one of those when I thought I'm gonna lambast this. Especially when I looked at the cat, I thought, oh, you what? Where you going with this? You can't. But then you think about it. There could be something different here. Benefit the doubt, folks. Benefit the doubt. And ta-da!